Welcome, everyone. This is Pumpkin Mules, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we have a look at the latest news in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin.
Yeah, I'm here.
Boy, is she excited today. Sans Winda.
Hello.
Guerendus.
Hello, everyone.
Arendus.
Hey, everybody.
Calabathian.
What? Oh, hi.
And Krister.
Hello, everybody.
Hello there. The full cast is gathered, and it is time for us to look at the news, which will start out with update 28.2.1, which was a small little patch that was released this week, where we had the terrain around King's Crossing in Evadim has been adjusted to allow southbound stable travel routes to function more reliably.
Kind of want to know what was happening.
The resistance rating granted by Honorian bean and tater soup and its superior version has been adjusted to a more appropriate level. I don't know whether that was up or down since I didn't check that.
I don't know either.
Fixed an issue where you could not replace an existing Tier 3 title on a legendary item with a different Tier 3 title of the same type.
Good.
Fixed an issue with the sizing of the Eriador map in German. And added some text to the German client that was improperly displayed in English.
But was it done angrily? Because it's German and everything is angry in German.
Hey, now.
It is. It's like, even saying I love you, it's just like, it's startling.
Well, I have a feeling it only sounds that way to an English speaker.
Yes, which is really weird considering I think we have some Germanic somewhere in that whole English language thing.
Yes, because England was conquered by Saxons and they were like Proto-Germans.
Yeah, Proto-Germans.
Yes. Yes, by the Saxons and the Angles.
So when is the next update supposed to be released? Next week or in the weeks?
Not until after the beginning of the year.
Yeah. What kind of update are you talking about?
Well, I was just kind of wondering if anyone has mentioned the small, insignificant, tiny little thing that we've noticed. We even noticed yesterday and today, where on your mini map, the green dots wander off the mini map into, and they just kind of go wandering.
I thought
it's really
it was
kind of funny.
Actually.
I thought it was me too until I mentioned it, and everybody else is like, "Oh yeah, somebody else's dots off on mine too." I just don't know who it is because I can't hover over and figure it out. So,
like, I were doing missions. No, remember this happened when we were doing the mission the other day. Panic and I were doing missions, and his dot went rogue. I took a screenshot. It was pretty funny.
I mean, it's kind of funny because they act like they're like caught inside the minimap, and then suddenly they break free and they go off across your screen, and you're like, "Wait a second." And every so often,
wander. It's fine.
Right, every so often it'll get close enough to the minimap, and the minimap will like try to catch it again, but.
Okay. Anyway, there was no announcement of any sort concerning a planned update for the Wandering Dots. I suspect that unless they think it's a very serious issue, there won't be any updates. I don't think they're planning any updates until next year. Now, if it becomes serious enough, they might have decided to elevate and try to get out a quick patch, but it'll only be for emergency items if there's any sort of patch next week.
Feature, not a bug.
I'll say it might be a feature just to see how much attention you're paying to your minimap.
Right. I suppose that's always a possibility there. And that's it for the update there. Now, there was a note concerning the Legendary Worlds and Imbued items, where they noted that the Legendary Worlds of Honor, who had their cap increased to 100 is that when the Legendary Worlds came up, they implemented a server-specific cap to legendary item imbuement on Honor and Ithil. This will cap imbue DPS tiers to level 33 and all secondary tiers to level 44. This cap will increase along with the level cap of Honor and Ithil. So the next time they increase the level cap, they will be bumping that up again.
Woohoo, you don't have to do all the days of Minas Tirith the first time. You can do it over a long period of time.
Well, I suppose that you will have some time in which to do some days in Minas Tirith when you finally get to that place and finish up the content. We shall see.
Remember, I was just say, remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
I'm sure there are people who have already
sprinted.
Yes,
Probably.
most probably. And then let's head into LOTRO Beacon issue number 186, where we have a dwarf riding a pig in front of Gundabad.
As you do.
I noticed the dwarf is not smoking. Kind of
Wise
sad.
choice. Wise choice.
For our community spotlight, Aranda has a hobbit town. See it over in the LOTRO forums. And Polnoluni has created a new video called Cursed Old House. Watch the video on the LOTRO forums. There's a link provided there. Hogmanay the pig is hosting a New Year's get-together on Laurelin on December 31st. Read more about the event on the LOTRO forums.
Ah, it's Scottish.
Yeah, I would think so. Now, did he name himself Hogmanay just so he could host New Year's parties?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes, that is. Or is that the name of his pet pig?
Why not both?
Yeah, he's actually a pig, in which I'm impressed by his organizational skills, frankly.
Yes. Apparently, Renator and Hogmanay the pig are teaming together to host this event. And then over on the we will have a toast to the professor on January 3rd, 2021. You can learn more about the in-game player event on Laurelin. And the Hobbity Yule calendar continues through December, and you can find daily treats in their blog. And now for the Kin Hall. If you are looking for members to join your kinship, then you can let the world know at the Kin Hall Spotlight. But if you would like to send it, then send it to contact@standingstonegames.com and write Kin Hall to get your kin featured. So now here is our weekly comment. What does one of your main characters want as a gift?
A Mumak ride. Preferably a repeatable one.
A Mumak ride.
I mean, I would settle for a not Mumak. Like, one of the really cool mammoths would be awesome too. But yeah, I want a Mumak ride.
A Mumak ride.
I mean, we could save those, what are they called, winter tusks? Like, save them and ride them to glory. That would be awesome. Or, like, just save them and ride them out of harm's way. That would be cool, too. Anything to get me a Mumak ride.
She'll break into the song, I won an elephant for Christmas, yes.
Yes.
All I want for Christmas is a Mumak ride. A Mumak ride.
Anyone else have anything that they wish to have as a gift?
Well, I bring a saddle and barding into Dracok every single time, but I seem to not be able to put it on that dragon. So that's what I would like to do.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
My own personal Dracok. Be a wonderful gift.
Wonderful gift. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I think that Dracok is not a Pernese dragon.
Well, you'd have to have like a training montage with it, where you guys earn each other's respect, and maybe you use a green hose and he gets really scared of it, so you keep that with you at all times.
Have a squirt bottle.
That's right.
Bad.
Have the Rocky training montage playing in the background.
Yes, that's going to be quite anybody else have anything they want for Christmas?
Well, Terry would like some Ithilone shards, please and thank you.
Oh, that would be a very useful gift. That's kind of like socks.
To Terry Adwin on Landreval.
I think that Draculetta's main character would love to have the skeletal steed.
Does he still not have that thing? I thought he got one.
I don't think so. I think he might have gotten a strange version of one on one of his alts that he never plays.
That honestly sounds about right if you think about it. Of course, you get it on the person you're ever going to play.
Well,
what do you want, Pineleaf?
What do I want? That would be.
Well, no. What does Pineleaf want?
Right. What does Pineleaf want?
That's
a totally different question.
Yeah, I guess that is a completely different. I am trying to think of something.
Then we have to figure out which Pineleaf.
Oh, now you're making it complicated.
Oh, very complicated. Yes, I could just imagine because I'm sure the one on Landreval wouldn't mind if you start at Crystal. Actually, no, start at Crystals. I think aren't my really problem there. I think it's it's those crazy scrolls that are probably behind there.
Oh, I just thought that Pineleaf Landreval would like some missions or some story quests that are not solo only.
Some story quests aren't so. That sounds more like what Terry Adwin will want.
I don't have any problem with story quests.
Oh, that's right. You don't. Actually, that would be a Sans Window one.
This week it was me. Yeah. Usually it's not me. But this week it was me.
I may not can tell you what Morkendeer wants because he's a burglar. He'll just steal whatever he wants. But I can tell you what he doesn't want.
To get caught?
to get caught, yeah. But also he really, really doesn't want to go drinking with goblins anymore.
Well, yeah, that is.
Enjoy that. That was an okay little trip.
He will never speak of it again.
He'll never speak of it again. Of course not. Okay. Yes. Now, I could just imagine. How about a repeatable eagle ride?
Ooh.
Repeatable to the point it's your mount?
Well, maybe not that repeatable.
Oh.
I mean, like, for example, when you take one of those Eagle Stable Masters that are...
If you can watch it?
Yeah, if you watch it instead of having it just a cut screen.
That would be cool.
Or like that cut screen that they have when you are in questing in the Great River, where after doing that quest and saving one of the eagles, they just show a screenshot of you on an eagle, or actually, I guess, some random character on an eagle, instead of being flown to back to Landreval that way.
It'd still be cool to watch it in flight.
Yeah.
I would say maybe camp the Stable Masters. Not quite as much as if they offered like actual Mumak rides between stables and Fort Kill, though.
Okay, I'd like to point out one notable exception, however.
Yeah.
The person that programmed the goats in Moria cannot program those eagles to fly. Okay, that's not
Yeah, that would be really painful about the time they decide to drop you and you're however many feet in the air.
There'll be a run on Runekeeper bags in the auction house because people are going to need airsick bags.
All these bergs are out there. Safe fall! Safe fall!
The same week they do that, they put the what is it, the bandages or whatever in the store on sale.
That would be funny.
Yeah, safe fall doesn't actually keep you from dying if the fall would cause you to die.
It would be one of those. I'm fixing to fall off this eagle. This eagle's fixing to. I'm just going to spam it.
I'm just gonna hope that this is only a fall to break my legs.
Yeah. Also, you
Or maybe
can't
we can get it.
you can't use safe fall while you're moving. So once you're in transit, you're screwed.
Sam says parachutes.
Yeah, what if you could deploy one of your kites? One of the cosmetic kites?
That would be pretty awesome.
You should be able to deploy one of those,
Deploy all
Or
of
if
them.
you're gonna fall.
Well, I would say the great big one from the Midsummer Fest. It's
Okay,
almost
you know
the
what?
size of a hang glider for a hobbit.
You did remind me of another gift I'd like. I would like the ability to resize my Oathbreakers to whatever size I wanted them to be, because I would always choose the big, massive Oathbreakers when you hit a big giant with Oathies. If I could make my Herald that size.
Like they've
size
been
of
at
a house.
Farmer Maggot's mushroom field without you.
Mary Rose would like more wardrobe slots, more than
Amen.
the 8 character outfit slots.
I would like more than
Yes.
135 inventory slots available.
Yes. And vault
Yeah.
storage and shared storage and all the storage.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the character storage, the main storage, the bags. I don't think are going to increase any.
Then give me some bags of holding that will hold the cosmetic clothing.
That's
Yeah,
what we
they're
need. A cosmetic carry-all.
cosmetic carry-all. I'm sure that'll be a nice Christmas gift for a number of people.
Oh, I would actually really like that. Yes.
That would be really cool.
Sam actually also mentions more race and or class specific quests to make the leveling experience a bit more different between the characters.
That would be cool.
Yeah, the trouble with that is it's a lot of time for it's a lot of time for having all those class specific quests in order to program them, and when obviously 1/10 of the characters are only going to be able to do them.
Remember, Pineleaf, we're not talking about the ones that are the most likely to happen. We're just talking about things that we want.
Okay. You do have a point there.
It's like making your Christmas list for Santa.
Like, not what you're actually going to get for Christmas, what you want for Christmas.
What you want for Christmas. Okay. That's right.
I mean, how many kids do you know who actually made practical... You know what? Never mind, because Pineleaf probably made really practical Christmas lists.
Let's head into the fan site news. LOTRO Players News last week, we said that it was a good time to creep. And on LOTRO Stream is your first stop to find LOTRO on Twitch. This week, Manolis launches his first show on LOTRO Stream. Big Ed ushers in the weekend, and Druid's Fire changes race and wraps up Rohan. Also on Twitch, the Green-Eyed Gamer likes elves, and Geek Bites gets into runes, and the Dwarf Scholar hunts for dwarven furniture. And over on YouTube, Dragotum's Gaming heads to the stables, Zogog cleans up Lothorian, and Mad Matt has a day. And Fiber Jedi has you covered for Yuletime Festival guides, and you click on the link to his blog to read that guide. I think we discussed that little thing last week. Then, for our screenshot of the week, the Hungarian kinship Sons of Anarchy recently held a holiday party to celebrate their first anniversary on Evernight. Besides decorating the kinship house, the kin went on a parade around Bury. Thanks Harlan, for sending in this week's screenshot. You can send your submissions to LOTRO@SandstoneGames.com. And that is it for the game news this week. So let's head into our store sales. Terry, what's on sale this week?
Well, our Yuletide savings will get you 35% off Universal Solvents, 50% off the Enhanced Reputation Supply, which is actually really cool, and 75% off crafting tiers now through December 24th. Our weekly coupon gets you a free Enhanced XP supply with the coupon code BLUEXPBAR now through December 24th. And we get 25% off storage stuff. Speaking of storage, vault storage and shared storage, inventory slots, and currency cap now through December 24th.
Thank you. Let's then head into our site news, where we'll begin with a Berg's Tale, where it looks like Morkendeer did a little side trip.
Yes, a Berg's Stramvarth tale is the full name of it. And in this kind of a side trip from the main story, we're going to see Morkendeer interacting with dwarves of the Gabalaka. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gabalaka, in preparation for storming the gates of Gundabad, to predictably hilarious results. I'm not going to lie, the only reason I actually got Morkendeer into doing the missions was to actually see how he reacted to some of them, especially the one in particular that I'm talking about in this particular interlude. And I was not disappointed.
It was great.
I was not disappointed. I had to take a few liberties, but I was not disappointed.
I am sure there are going to be some strange things in there.
Oh, yes.
So,
Well,
Arendis.
Fairly strange.
I heard that you have a pick for this week?
Yes, I do. I know that we mentioned earlier about Fibro Jedi's guide for all of the quests for the Yule Festival, but he has also created a guide to the Yule Festival cosmetics. So he's basically putting together a collection of what all of the cosmetics look like, because there are a ton of them from over the years. And if you want to get kind of just a quick snapshot of what everything looks like without having to log in, or if you're just trying to figure out the best way to use the tokens that you have to get the cosmetic pieces you want, this is a good article for that. So we've talked about Fibro Jedi's articles on the podcast before, and his stuff never fails to disappoint, at least in my mind. So I'd recommend it.
There you go. Then let's head into our new player question for this week.
And I actually kind of had this question because I'm coming up with it. But how do you get crystals for LIs from the festival?
So when you have enough festival tokens, then you go see the festival barter person, and they have a drop-down category for LIs and essences and maybe something else. And if you click on that, it'll pop it up. For the Yule Festival, the person standing on the right when you're facing the festival barters in Winterhome is the one who has it. In the Autumn Festival, there was a festival barter in Thorin's Hall that you could turn around and talk to after finishing the In and Ale League runs. So depending on the festival depends on where the barter person is, but the same person who has the cool festival items is likely to be the one who has the LI option as well.
Do you happen to know how many tokens it takes to actually, like, how many it would take for one, I guess?
Right off the top of my head, I don't, because it changes from festival to festival, but they're usually roughly the same amount of work to get each festival. So, like if you did all of the in an A-League runs for each festival and traded in for their traded in the boxes for their festival tokens for that festival, you would have enough for just a little bit more than what you need for one crystal every day if you did both in an A-League runs. But they vary greatly in price. And usually if you do like the full day's questing of that festival, you also have enough tokens for a LI crystal.
Okay.
But yeah, the number of tokens needed varies greatly based on the festival, because some festivals have tokens that are very easy to acquire lots of, and some have ones that it takes a lot more work to acquire a number that seems large, but the ones that take a lot more work tend to have a lower price. So,
all right. Yes, I had just been wondering about that because I know I went with you guys today to do that kind of thing, and I think I came out with like 35 Yule tokens or something out of it. But yeah, I was like, and I could swear that the number that I was looking at to actually get one was like 120 tokens are needed for one.
So,
and I'm like,
well, that's partially because you need more rep with the in and L League before you can turn in those badges of taste and dishonor for tokens. But okay. Yes, it's 120 Yule Festival tokens, but it'll only cost 40 anniversary tokens when the anniversary festival comes around. Though I don't think the in and L League is up during the anniversary. But it's only 60 spring leaves, it's 120 Farmers Fair tokens, 90 Fall Festival tokens, and then the 120 Yule Festival tokens. So it changes based on the festival and how easy or difficult the tokens are to acquire.
All right. Okay.
Then let's head into our week in LOTRO. And Terry Adwin, what were you up to?
Well, I had kind of a busy week this week, surprisingly. I did more helping of dwarves. Terry Adwin did more helping of dwarves. I, as a player, did more yelling at the screen in frustration. As Stan Swinda and Pineleaf can attest, there was a whole lot of yelling on Tuesday. Because some things went as planned and some things were aggravating. Because apparently some people can't math. And that's all I'm going to say. Goblin bombs and math just apparently do not mix. I also finished out the Elder Slade Slayer deeds and Mountain of Missions Tier 10. So, busy week. And I'm still doing missions because I need the embers. Gimme embers. But yeah, in fact, after I finished the one mission today that had trolls in it, I was 2 trolls away from finishing my Troll Slayer deed, which is the last one I had. So I clicked the little banner to take me out onto the war landscape, and I ran down from Zarkul Saloon, and there was a hill crusher thingy right there, like right after you get to outside the entrance, and I took that as a sign. And then it took me like 20 minutes to find another troll, because every other thing I ran across in the landscape, I had Angmarim, I had goblins, I had orcs, I had drakes, I had wormlings, I had frost hobgoblins, and I had those stupid hillbeast thingies that I don't remember what they call them, but they're whatever name they came up with, the dwarven name they came up with for hillbeast for Gundabad. And finally I found a troll perched up on a rock. And I went up and I slaughtered him. And then I mapped
Terry,
my
they
way.
knew.
They did. They knew I was hunting them. And then I mapped my way back to Anak Kerfu because I was not hanging out on that landscape. But yeah, done. And my whatever virtue I'm leveling at the moment, I think it's confidence, went up 2 tiers by completing both of those deeds. So yay!
Nice.
Sarissa did Ale Association and Frostbluff rounds, and then made her way through the seasonal skirmish, surprisingly way more easily than the girls did earlier in the week, which I'm not going to talk about because other people will. But yeah, she didn't really have tons of problems with the skirmish. But I know it's that those tend to be a lot easier when you're solo anyway. And I earned enough tokens to get her a Poinsettia Horn that I promptly named Winterweed. And it is so cute. We discovered that as you're walking around, obviously your pets follow you around. Well, when you stop moving, the little poinsettia horn actually falls asleep, and there's little Z's that come out over its head as it's snoring. It's so cute.
The Christmas tree one does that too.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Well, probably the other horns do too, and I just hadn't really noticed.
Yes, my little horn with the beehive in it, which I have named Covered in Bees. Yeah, it does too.
It's so cute. And then Terry Fluffs hit the moors to vent some frustration, and I got snarky with a Freep spy in OC. And then we ran across this Freep bit a bunch of times, and I said something really scathing in OC, and he finally stopped talking, or he logged. Victory was ours either way, because he was trying to say that we were incompetent because somebody got killed by an NPC, but he had run into the group of NPCs like he needed their help to kill us, and then he's like, "Oh, I roamed solo on the moors," and then we found him in Lugs as we were trying to take it back, and then of course he's like surrounded by Lugs NPCs and killing people off, and I'm like, "Yeah, you roam the moors solo. You needed a whole keep full of NPCs to help you kill us. You piece of trash runekeeper." And then he stopped talking. I was feeling feisty.
Had troubles taking him out too, especially when he ran around with that other runekeeper and they kept DNFing each other. Do not fall did not help.
Additional note on people probably still trying to say creeps are overpowered. Creeps are not overpowered, because let me tell you, there were 2 little sorry runekeepers on the landscape, and it took 6 of us to take out 2 runekeepers. So no, we are not overpowered.
And it took 6, and we died repeatedly.
And there were deaths. It was like
to keep running back.
It was not a free for all on killing them. No, they actually took out a couple of us more than once. So no, creeps are not overpowered. Stop it. Leave the balance right where it is, because it's perfect. It's just right. It's the Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. It's just right. So yeah, that was my week. Calabathian, how about you?
Well, I went questing for rep in Forakel with the Celevorn to get kindred status with the Losoth for cosmetic reasons. And then after I got that, I realized that I had to actually craft them, and I promptly threw that idea away. So
I could have told you that.
All that work.
It's like, why would you do that? Just find somebody who's already got the recipes and have them craft it for you. That's what I do.
Because I realized it's all recipes, but I don't actually have any crafters who can craft it. So I was like, well, okay. Never mind then.
You can get a shaky pony now.
Well, there's crafting involved. Hey, Sans, can you do this for me?
The answer is yes, I actually can.
Yeah, and Sans actually wound up sending me some stuff, and I think, and it was mostly so that Morkandir could get kind of a cold weather outfit that wasn't, Yule festival related, because Morkandir is just not that festive when he wants to dress for he isn't. And I think it has something to do with the fact that the last time I actually had him in Frost Bluff, he was very low level, and the Frost Grims that are out there that you have to kill, they actually killed him.
Oh, oops.
And he was like level 5 or something.
I'll do it.
So it was like, yeah, oops.
Poor Morkandir.
But yeah, so that happened. But I finally got him dressed, and now I actually have to run him through everybody else to kind of help figure out how to make it better, because otherwise I'll never be able to run with anyone with him again, because he'll be too embarrassing to run with. But I also, kind of like everybody, like Terry mentioned, everybody was warg-tooth biting. So as one of our fellow friends once said, I went out on the moors and we chewed on some freeples, and we actually, I think last night, got complimented by a spider.
Yeah, a rank 14 spider.
Yeah, who basically said that our warg pack made this warg like level 14, well, rank 14, sorry. He never felt safer even without a war leader or, So we really did a good job there. And
Oh, I missed that. I wish I could have heard that. That was great.
Yeah, it was. I think it was some like right before we got ready to log off for the night. But last thing was that Hobbitberg Heistja went with the other girls' bergs through a wintry Yule instance. And how we survived to the end, we really don't know. I mean, well,
we
overall
didn't.
Survived.
We kept running back.
I mean, we kept running back because we kept dying, but we actually successfully got through it, is what I mean by survived in that instance. It's, we didn't all wipe and kind of go, okay, we're done. But yeah. So, how about you, Gorindas? How was your week?
Well, I bravely snuck around by myself on the moors and did a tiny bit of questing and PvE on Monday and made rank 5 with my turn-ins.
Yay!
Rank 6 will probably take forever. I haven't been out there as much as you guys have, drat the luck. Have to try to fix that sometime coming up. But yeah, I'm kind of excited that I actually made it that far. I did lots of festivaling. It included experiments with consumables. There's a lot of nice consumables with the Christmas fest here, the Yule fest. Sans and I kind of split up what we bought and laughed ourselves silly at some of them. I helped a kinmate get a pet bear by running through with him the Frostbluff instance with the captain that I normally run with too. He's a Bjorning, so now he has a great big brown bear with a little brown bear to follow him, which is kind of cute. I got the Yule frame for my Hobbit Hunter, and I started throwing snowballs. I may never stop throwing snowballs. As a matter of fact, that's the plan. I want to get the permanent festival item because it's just hilarious. You can even throw them when you're moving, which as a blue line hunter just delights me to no end for some reason. We did have some regular questing highlights here. We did have some fun going back to the Misty Mountains. It's almost a kind of a blur what we did there compared to what happened when we got back to Rivendell and discovered how to tell if a burglar has a broken leg. I put the link in the show notes.
We blew stuff up, actually.
Yeah, we blew a lot of stuff up in the Misty Mountains. It was quite amusing, and we also saw a very large warg get his bitter end. Yes, but yeah, we went to the Battle of Frostbluff, as Terry said, and the victory was Pyrrhic. Thank goodness for subscribers, Jug. Because
yeah,
I know that the two highest level ones I think was Sans and I's characters, and we were kind of playing catch up with some of the rest of them leveled several times while we were out there. Even Sans and I died a couple of times. We just kept running back in, but we actually managed to get both of the encounters, and we did complete the instance. It's not like we gave up and stopped. We just kept dying a lot. So maybe not taking a whole group of bergs to have to run up on things and do better in stealth is probably not a great idea, but it was a lot of fun. It really was. It felt like we'd accomplished something when we got to the end. My Guardian has the Foundations of Stone and completing the epic. It's the chapter with the skirmish. And she can run away from Moria. Only to be sent back. I know. But, she can pretend like she's out in the daylight for just a little bit. Krister, I run into you a lot in Nana Curfew. What are you doing when I don't see you there?
Well, before I get into that, I'd just like to comment on your consumables that you were experimenting with. Do you realize how many times I had to clean up after you at Frost Bluff? Do you realize that? I mean, I've had to clean
It's
those tables
snowballs.
over.
It's snowballs. I'm not doing the feasting. I'm not throwing up. Come on.
Oh, okay. I was deeply concerned. So, of course, with Frost Bluff, I met him years ago, and this one particular hobbit has taught me perseverance, patience, and commitment. And every year, I get to experience his commitment to his role at Frost Bluff. And I posted the picture in the notes, of course. My favorite passed out drunk hobbit of all time is in Frost Bluff, and so I just had to pay him a little tribute. So on the raid notes, as we progress, my kin, I've seen captains with 1 million morale, and I'm starting to close in on that number.
What?
Yeah, I've heard the rumors. I've seen it. There's captains with 1 million morale. I don't know how they do it yet.
Oh my God!
I'm going to figure it out. And so fully buffed, fully ready to go. I'm at 852 right now. So I'm trying really hard. I've just got to convert all to get as shiny as I possibly can. And then, of course, right when I get as shiny as I possibly can, glaring in the sun, they're going to raise the level cap and invalidate all the work that I just did. So. So I had we had a great run yesterday as well. We're doing the store of runs. We're up to 7 coins there. Did stairs and T2 sides. And I don't know what happened yesterday, but I got 6 tier 6 essence box drops.
Nice.
I've never ever had that happen before. So I had a large selection of upgrades to do last night, which was awesome. And then the one thing I wanted to do, I was looking through some old screenshots I took, and I posted this in notes as well. I feel like this is the most beautiful picture I've ever taken in LOTRO, and wanted to share it with you guys. Horrendous. How's your weekend going? How's everything going?
It's been going all right. To speak to the screenshot that you posted, it is a really cool screenshot. I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
As far as what I've been doing this week, it's mostly been festivaling. I'm going to sound like a broken record over the next couple of weeks, but the Yule Festival is my favorite, so sorry, not sorry. I picked up a bunch of cosmetics and a bunch of housing decorations, and also got to listen to a high elf who was playing music by the quest givers today. Other than that, I went warging with the group this week. As Terry mentioned earlier, especially about the strength of runekeepers. Never ever underestimate the strength of a runekeeper's runestone either. It zapped me so hard at one point that it broke my Discord connection. So it reached out of the game in order to destroy my Discord. It was the funniest thing because, normally when we're in a group and someone spots a freep, everyone will start, yelling, "Oh my gosh, it's a freep. It's over there. Get it. Someone get it." And I heard nothing. And I was like, wait a second, what just happened? That looks like no, that's definitely a freep. And I'm hearing nothing, but everything is moving on my screen. And I look and my Discord had crashed. I've never heard anything after the boom. So life lesson here, never underestimate runestones. Sans, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. Sans did get taken down a few pigs on Tuesday, though. So we were running around Elderslade in the war zone, and I was having a grand time because Terry wanted trolls, and so I was shooting as many trolls as I could, and then saying Merry Christmas, and she was loving it and killing them. And so I was like trying to get more trolls for her, and the gas moved and like covered me, and I couldn't get out of it. And so then I had this debuff on me, and that proved problematic until we got it removed. But I did get the trolls back to Terry eventually, and they died. And then, like, we stopped after, like, running over the landscape and not really having very many problems except for that one warband in the road that they killed us. But that was a minor
Yeah, we won't talk
setback.
about that,
We
though.
don't talk about that. I totally didn't shoot it a second time either on accident. But it didn't kill anybody else that time. And so like I kind of had like this good sense that like, okay, so like even with this poison effect on me, like I'm still in pretty good shape. Like I should be totally fine with this solo only quest that's here. So being a good hunter with several upgraded gear pieces that don't have essences in them yet, I was like, sure, no problem. I'll just knock out this solo quest before I go to bed, and then it'll all be fine. And so I go into the solo quest, and I mean, like, it's a solo quest. Who needs food? Who needs scrolls? Like, who needs essences in their gear? Not this hunter. So I'm like going through this quest, and it's going fine, and there's this dwarf with me, and I'm letting the dwarf tank, and all's fine. And then we get to this room with like 5 orcs in it. And the dwarf charges into the room, and the orcs all charge me. And so being the good hunter I am, I flop. And they all go back to the dwarf, and so the dwarf resumes tanking, and I'm, like, thinking to myself, like, surely I didn't do... No, like, I didn't even pull aggro. I was behaving. So I kill them, and get, like, the boss comes out, and, like, the boss is like, I will kill this dwarf! And I'm like, great, the dwarf's gonna tank this. So then, like, 4 guys jump me. And I'm like, really? So, like, I finally kill the 4th guy, and the boss activates and jumps over the head of the dwarf that's been fighting him this whole time, who he's said he's going to kill, and charges me. And stunned and killed me. And so then I did the only thing I knew to do, and I made my way back as fast as possible to get the quest to get back into the instance so I could finish it. And see if maybe I could save the dwarf. The dwarf was totally fine. The dwarf's health wasn't even down. I got back in time for the dwarf to give the killing blow to the orc. And then the dwarf stopped. Out of reach. And I could not get to the dwarf to finish the sorry quest to end the instance.
No.
Because I was behind a barricade. And I could not get through it. And I could not get the dwarf to come closer. And so I decided, you know what? I know how this works. Like, fine, I can submit a ticket, but it's late, nobody's gonna be on. Like, I'll just leave the instance, cancel the quest, take it again, do this again, save my flop for the boss in case the boss charges me again. It's gonna be fine. So, I canceled the instance, and it pops up this, hey, go complete all these quests and go scout again. I was like, what?
Oh, no.
No way! Oh well, it wasn't that difficult earlier. And so then I leave the area to go do the quest, see if I can do the quest again and scout again. And it updates thankfully and says, oh, look, you already finished all the quests. I'm like, thank you, because I did. And then it's like, go scout these 4 locations. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I'm going to scout these 4 locations, kind of killing as I go. And then a group of like 6 things jumps out at me, and the gas swirls over me, and I have to run back in again. I was like, okay, that's not going to work. So then I tried a Warsteed, but then I got unhorsed. So then I tried a medium Warsteed with the cool sacrifice thing going. And that worked really well until my Warsteed died. Again, from a cliff. Anyway, it was pretty miserable scouting those 4 locations again. I finally got them scouted, got back into the instance, and died again when the 5 guys decided to charge me. And this time, like, I made absolutely sure I was nowhere close to them when the dwarf charged in. I went into stealth down the hall before they saw me. No, they charged straight past that dwarf, ran down the hall, and smacked me. So, yeah, I was not a fan of that mission, or that quest. But, Sanswind has learned a lesson or 2. She'll be taking care of her gear, and, yeah, maybe eating before questing solo, but it was kind of fun, besides the dying part. And I took my warg out to eat, which involved less dying, which was nice. mostly NPC snacks, but the occasional super crunchy runekeeper who refused to die came along. So yeah, I mean, I expect like the captains to be crunchy and like the Bjornings who don't die to be crunchy. They actually turned out to be really chewy though. Like you can just chew and chew and chew on them and they don't die. They literally ran around in circles for like 10 minutes with a Bjorning earlier today with like 4 of us and a Bjorning, and the Bjorning's health would go down to half and then pop right back up to full.
But we're too overpowered.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So yeah, never did actually get a real good taste of that Bjorning. But it turned out that the Runekeepers were the crunchiest. And very hard to digest. Might have been the Runestones part of that. And I ran several in and A League runs for Festival Cosmetics and Starlit Crystals, and it turns out it's the saddle of the Warsteed Cosmetics that produces the snow effects, in case anybody needs to know that.
Nice.
So, yeah. That was my week. How was your week, Pineleaf?
I'll begin with my honor warden, who headed through the paths of the dead and entered into Gondor, because they just released the Gondor sections for the Honor and Nitzel servers, as we talked about earlier today. And we ran through a number of quests there. I finished the initial ones from Morlad, then the other 2 villages, and then I'm getting ready to head back to Morlad. So about, I guess, half of the Blackroot Vale done now. Then during the field trip, I helped a few fellows to complete their class quests. And then we raced across a ridge in Eregion and managed to all get that little deed in there.
Yay.
Yes, after trials and tribulations.
Yes, trials and tribulations trying to get across that ridge.
That first jump, and then that other one, there's another place you kind of have to jump a bit in the middle. Yeah.
Yes, there was that. Then for Friday Night Fight, we ran the stairs battle that was with 6, and we were fairly successful of that, except for that second boss. That second boss is brutal. That's all I gotta say about that. Actually, no, it's not all I'm gonna say about that. Because what this second boss does, at least in the 6-player version, is that he, of course, one of his tricks is to punt everybody away from them. Then he'll try to cast a heal on himself, so it'll be as difficult as possible for you to interrupt him whenever he does that. So that's really annoying. His other annoying feature is that he would first put a unpotable bleed on you. Then as soon as you have this unpotable bleed on you, then he will put you into an ice cube where you can't escape out under any way. So effectively, you are worse than stunned. One of the longest worse than stuns I can even think of. I don't like that boss. That's all I gotta say about that particular one. I think it took us 3 attempts before we finally took out that second boss, and then we're done with that. Then after that, we ran the Battle of Frostbluff and got through there. And that was my week in LOTRO. And then as for news beyond LOTRO, we have another entry by Darren Loremaster, who has another one of his settings of one of his poems in there. This time it is The March of the Noldor, which is to the tune of Carnival of Rust. I would have thought that Carnival of Rust would be a particularly good tune to put with something about a certain acquaintance we have every once in a while, the Weeping Warrior.
Yes. It would seem fitting.
But anyway, he of course has a video with the song being sung, plus of course the lyrics. that's given on there, which starts out apparently Fingolfin is singing the point of view character for that particular piece in there. So that is the March of the Noldor. Our top supporter this month is LOTRObuild.com. It's a collection of full LOTRO databases, including item database, relics database, and titles database. And you can also use it right from your Discord server with the LOTRO Build bot. We currently have 15 supporters on Patreon. If you would like to join this illustrious array of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the Nations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money will be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. If you wish to support us without joining Patreon, you could please contact Drac at lotrplayers.com.
That is totally what we want for Christmas as a group. We would like for you to give us money.
Actually, I would really like some emails from some people that are listeners from our show.
Yeah, that might be more to the point.
Okay, send us $5 and an email.
We not receiving emails this week, but if you like send one, you can send it to podcast at LOTROplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at the Players Alliance at Players Ally, LOTROplayers at LOTROplayers, Arendis at Arendis, Palingfit, Neil, Senswinda at Senswinda, Terry Edwin at Terry Edwin, Guarendis at Guarendis, and Calabathian at Calabathian. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. UFC Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. UFC Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. You can choice for our shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Polly Gold reminding you to skirmish responsibly.